All right, today we are diving into an ancient story from Genesis 14 that honestly, it plays out like a modern blockbuster. We're talking warring kings, a high-stakes kidnapping, and a rescue mission so audacious it sounds completely impossible. And the whole thing really boils down to this one central question. How in the world did one man, a guy named Abram, manage to take on and actually defeat a victorious alliance of four powerful kings? Well, to figure that out, we've got to start with the war that kicked this whole thing off.
So our story doesn't even start with Abram. It starts with a massive regional conflict. You've got 9 kings, 2 powerful factions, and a rebellion that's about to set the entire valley on fire.
Okay, so what's the backstory here? Well, for 12 long years, 5 local kings, and yeah, this includes the infamous rulers of Sodom and Gomorrah, they've been paying tribute to this powerful eastern king, Kedorlaomer. But in year 13, they decide they've had enough. They rebel, and as you can see by the 14th year, all talk is over. Kedorlaomer and his allies are on the march.
The whole conflict really comes down to 2 sides. On one side, you've got what we'll call the imperial force, King Kedorlaomer and his 3 heavy-hitting allies. And facing them, the rebel alliance, made up of those 5 kings from the valley who are tired of being pushed around. It's a classic 4 against 5 showdown, and control of the whole region is on the line.
The battle itself is decisive, and frankly, it's a total disaster for the rebels. They all meet in the Valley of Siddim, and the text makes a point to mention it was full of tar pits. As the rebels turn and run, some of their guys literally fall into them. The imperial force of 4 kings just completely crushes the army of 5. And this is the moment everything changes. What was this huge political war suddenly becomes a deeply personal crisis for one man who wasn't even in the fight.
So the victorious kings do what victorious kings do. They loot. They grab all the goods, all the food, all the people from Sodom and Gomorrah. And buried in that list of captives is the one name that matters for our story, Lot, who just so happens to be Abram's nephew. Suddenly the war has just shown up on Abram's doorstep.
So how does Abram respond to this? Does he try to negotiate, pay a ransom? Nope. He mounts what has to be one of the most daring, most gutsy rescue missions in ancient literature.
The second Abram hears the news, he calls out his fighting force. And get this, how big is it? It's just 318 men. That's it. This isn't an army of thousands. These are 318 trained men from his own household. This tiny group is about to go up against a conquering army.
Abram's strategy here is it's as brilliant as it is bold. First, pursuit. He doesn't wait around, he chases them down immediately. Second, a surprise night attack. He divides his already small force to hit them from multiple directions in the dark. And you know what? It works. It works perfectly. He completely routs the forking army. It's a total victory and a full recovery of everyone and everything.
So after this absolutely stunning victory, Abram comes back a hero. But the story isn't over. Not by a long shot. He's immediately met by 2 very different kings, each with a very different offer, and it presents him with this crucial choice. The first guy to meet him is this mysterious figure named Melchizedek, the king of Salem. He brings out bread and wine, but his real gift is a blessing. He gives all the credit for Abram's victory, not to Abram's strategy, but to God Most High. He frames the whole thing in spiritual terms. And these 2 encounters, man, they could not be more different. They really represent 2 completely different ways of seeing the world. First, you have Melchizedek, offering a spiritual blessing, and Abram's response is an act of worship. He gives him a 10th of all the spoils. Then in comes the King of Sodom with a purely transactional offer. Hey, you keep the massive fortune and goods, just give me back my people. It's a choice between recognizing divine help and just taking a purely material reward. This is it. This is the final test for Abram. He already won the military battle, but now he's facing a moral one. And his response is one of the most powerful statements of integrity you will ever find. The King of Sodom offers him immense wealth, but Abram flat out refuses. And his reason is so powerful and so direct, he says he will not allow this corrupt king to ever take credit for his prosperity. Abram is drawing a very clear line in the sand. And his refusal isn't just some general statement. He gets incredibly specific. He makes it clear he won't accept anything, not even a thread or the strap of a sandal. This is a total, complete rejection of any reward from this source. It's a powerful statement about where he's placing his trust for his own provision.
But here's the thing, Abram's personal oath doesn't make him unfair to other people. He makes a principled exception. He says his own men can of course keep what they've already eaten on the journey, and he insists that his local allies who fought with him get their rightful share of the goods. His oath was for him, not for them.
And that leaves us with the real takeaway, right? Abram's story isn't just about a military victory. It's about the moral victory that came right after. And it forces us to ask a question that still echoes today. When is it more powerful to refuse a reward than to just accept it?